So today I live the life and routine of a proficient polyglot. Of course it's staged, like I had to set up the lighting, come on. Let's see if that routine actually works for me, so you can use it to actually improve. Bonjour tout le monde, I'm Cassie, your French teacher, so you can discover France the French way. And now is the perfect time to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want the best tips to learn French efficiently. So today I'll copy the routine of a polyglot of Olly Richards, whom you surely know. As an example, I took this video. It is quite an old one, I know, but it is very interesting because we can follow the routine throughout the day. Or at least he explains the routine he follows throughout the day. So let's see if there are tips that actually work for me and that you should include in your French learning routine. Alors, t'es prêt? On y va. Okay, it is morning and apparently what I have to do for 5 minutes in the morning is to review vocabulary. So vocabulary that I actually want to use. What I do is set up a list of words that I use on a daily basis. Maybe they have to do with my work or my passions, hobbies, etc. You do you. But for this example, what I will do is take a random list in Anki cards. So, not a big fan of flashcards, you probably know that by now, but let's give it a try, okay? And I will see what they have for French. Okay, that's for you, I do that. Alors, let's go with, I don't know. Okay, let's go with the 5,000 most frequently used French words. I wouldn't recommend that, but otherwise you only have verbs. Oh no, let's go with essential French. Okay. So what is un acteur? Un acteur. To be fair, this one is not that hard, is it? But I'm curious how they would translate that, to be honest. An actor, a comedian, though comedian would be comédien. Donc, if you don't know, you can see the answer, okay? It's actually quite well done because then you have the audio.
Acteur.
Acteur. Very good. And then you say if it was difficult for you to find or if it was easy, etc. Yeah, it was easy. An adjective. Not really the thing I would review in a space repetition app because it is almost the same as in English. Donc, adjective, adjective.
Adjectif.
Yeah, okay. An adult, same. But you can do your own vocabulary list that you review. I'm really not a big fan of that. But what you can do is in Notion, for example, you can set a list of words you want to learn and sentences. Or even in this app, like you can add sentences if you want. It's better with a bit of context because just words, like, I mean, I'm going back to sleep, let's be honest. Like, have a good night, bonne nuit. Another point in the day, according to Olly, is when you're commuting. I don't know, you go to work. I work at home, so I cannot really relate, but maybe you do. Or you have some dead time during the day, or you're waiting for something. Waiting for my laundry, for example. So when you have that, you can put a podcast on, or you can listen to an audio lesson. But the idea is not really to learn, really to study, but just to have some input. So you shouldn't, according to Olly, review the lesson too much. Or you shouldn't really focus on everything they're saying. The main goal here is that you're listening to your target language, to French maybe. So if you want to listen to podcasts, there are plenty. If you prefer having an audio lesson and you know you can speak as well, I recommend things like Pimsleur or the audio files of Assimil. I really love that method. You will see that later today. So we're in the evening and now starts like the 1 hour focus time. So you can set a time if you need it. I put it on my phone and then you need to actually focus on what you're learning. Before it was a bit like you were reviewing things or it was a bit of input, okay, but now you need to actually understand what you're doing. So we're going to have a proper lesson. It can be you researching things that you've learned that were new during the day. For example, in the podcast this morning, maybe you learned a new structure, a new grammar structure or sentence structure, but you did not understand quite well, so you will research it. Personally, I put all my notes in Notion, so that's why I have my tablet and my laptop, because I love to actually, write on my tablet, like hand write. But there are other ways, of course, you do you. But for today, what I want is actually use a method, assimile. So I really like it. I have the lesson book and the exercise book. So I'm gonna combine both for an hour, and yeah, that's what I will do. And it's so cute, isn't it? Maybe after your hour of lesson, or whenever, really, I don't really understand the order of things, but whenever you can, if you can actually speak or write sentences for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, according to Olly, it is best if you do that daily. I agree with him, though I would take a break during weekends, let's be honest. But yeah, it is actually a great way to practice without having a practice partner or language buddy, or call it whatever you want. So you can journal, like if you like that, or you can speak. You can speak to yourself, really, or you can record yourself just like I'm doing right now, except I am actually speaking another language. Hey, English is clearly not my mother tongue. And several times a week, so he recommends 2 to 3 times. I would say, let's be honest, in a busy schedule, once a week is more than enough. You will just go a bit slower, but having a language tutor is actually a great thing to do. So if, I don't know, you don't have the money, or wait a little before you feel a bit more confident, you can actually use ChatGPT or another AI tool. And if you don't know how to proceed, I actually created a video on that topic. Okay, comes the end of the day. So for me, it is the end of the afternoon. I'm done working. But for you, maybe it will be during the evening. You can just relax. Okay, you relax, you watch a series on Netflix or something in your target language. If subtitles, if needed, I love that Olly is recommending it as well. Because if you need subtitles, it's fine. The idea is not to understand everything, it's just so you have some input. What I would add, though, is that when you recognize a word, you say it out loud. And that's it. You just say it out loud. And for me, at least, I tend to remember way better that way. And it also helps with pronunciation. But the most important, you focus on your movie, series, whatever you're watching, because, again, relax. Hello, you. Again, bonsoir. So, apparently, to go to sleep, or before going to sleep, I'm supposed to review vocabulary again. And you know how I love that. Not. So I will try another app. So you're supposed to review the vocabulary that you've learned during the day. Again, just words with no context, I'm not a big fan, but it is indeed a good occasion to review everything you've learned during the day, instead of just vocabulary. So you can take I don't know, I have my tablet, do that on your phone, and you just review vocabulary and everything you've done, the lessons, you read everything before going to sleep. It's actually quite a good idea, because then it's not so fresh that, you don't have to review it and you will forget about it in 5 minutes, but it's still fresh, so you fully understand and it's all good. Yeah, I think I do that better than an app or flashcards that I really, really hate. But it's a good way to put me to sleep. I mean, I would sleep way faster. I mean, you do you. So I hope you really liked this video. If so, you can give it a thumbs up and tell me in the comments which habit or tips you want to implement first. And if you want to see my lazy habits, my routine, but again, lazy routine, I recommend you watch this video next. Donc à la semaine prochaine. Salut!